This sure sounds like a Hollywood movie. A prison guard falls in love with an inmate, helps him escape. Then the pair goes on the run from police for 11 days. But this really happened, and now it's getting the Netflix treatment.
The escaped prisoner and his jail guard lover checked into this motel in Indiana and a room just like this one. It's very simple. It has a bed, a table, a television, a fridge, a microwave, but probably most noticeable is how quiet it is here.
From flirty text messages to full-blown escape plans, here are times when prisoners turned the tables and manipulated the very people meant to guard them. Starting with Craig Stinson and Sarah Williams, who went from officer and inmate to secret lovers hiding thousands of messages, photos, and money transfers. Sarah Williams worked as a prison officer at HMP Alt Course in Liverpool. Her job was to maintain order and follow strict rules. But everything changed when she met Craig Stinson, an inmate known for being very clever and manipulative. Sarah was struggling with personal issues outside of work, and Stinson noticed that. He used sweet words and charm to win her trust. Over time, she fell in love with him and started a romantic relationship, even though it was completely against prison rules. Sarah didn't just help one prisoner. She was in touch with 3 inmates in total. She sent over 22,000 messages and made thousands of phone calls to them using illegal mobile phones. One of the prisoners had around 12,000 calls and texts with her. Another had 9,500, and the third had about 1,200. She even sent them intimate photos. This showed she was emotionally connected and didn't care about the rules anymore. Eventually, prison staff got a tip-off and searched the cells. They found hidden phones and messages proving the relationships. When police searched Sarah's house, they discovered gang-related information and bank transactions. She had sent money to at least one inmate, even after he was transferred to another prison. This situation showed how dangerous emotional manipulation can be. Sarah went from being a guard to being involved in serious criminal behavior. She ended up getting arrested and losing her job, freedom, and reputation. Her fall from duty was all due to trusting the wrong person behind bars. Alex Coxon and Jennifer Gavin. Alex Coxon was in prison for robbery and drug crimes. Even while behind bars, he managed to start a romantic relationship with a female officer named Jennifer Gavin.
18 female guards at the same jail in Wrexham have been fired for having an illicit affair with the same inmate. The shocking information comes after a Freedom of Information request was levied at His Majesty's Prison Service. News has meant that the area has seen a large uptick in crime, with both men and women looking to get into the jail as soon as possible. One police sergeant confirmed that when he turned up to work this morning, there was actually a queue of people outside the station looking to hand themselves in.
He used Snapchat to send messages and got Gavin to respond with personal photos. Gavin had recently ended a long relationship and was feeling lonely. Coxon noticed this and used her emotional state to get close to her. One day, the prison got a tip and searched Coxon's cell. They found a banned phone hidden under a laptop. On the phone were private and intimate photos from Gavin. She admitted she had feelings for Coxon and believed they were in a real relationship. She had even kissed him during visits, but it was clear that Coxon was using her. He had also tried to send another banned phone to a different prisoner using dental floss, a clear sign he was up to no good. Jennifer's lawyer said she was emotionally confused and didn't see the danger. She truly thought Coxon loved her. But the truth came out, and both of them were punished. Gavin was sentenced to 8 months in prison. Coxon was given another 10 months for having the illegal phone. This next case shows how a secret romance sparked through Instagram, and a hidden PlayStation phone led Officer Emily Watson to throw away her career for an inmate. John McGee and Emily Watson. John McGee was sent to prison after causing a death by dangerous driving. He was jailed at HMP Berwyn in Wales. While serving his sentence, he formed a secret romantic relationship with a 26-year-old prison officer named Emily Watson. John used a hidden mobile phone that was cleverly disguised inside a PlayStation console. It was opened using a special pen-like tool. With this phone, he contacted Emily on Instagram and began chatting with her.
The investigation found that they had been in contact via an Instagram account on an iPhone 6, which he had hidden inside a PlayStation that he had in his cell. He was able to get the phone out using a screwdriver disguised as a pen. Emily Watson of Huddersfield, West Yorkshire, became infatuated with John McGee, who was serving an 8-year sentence at HMP Berwyn in Wrexham for death by dangerous driving. A prison guard who performed a sex act on a prisoner in his cell on Christmas Day sobbed in the dock as she was jailed. Emily Watson, 26, became infatuated with prisoner John McGee, who was serving an 8-year sentence for death by dangerous driving. Watson, described in court as a thrill seeker, went alone into McGee's cell several times, giving him oral sex twice and having full intercourse with him on one occasion that they know of. But suspicions were roused when she spent so much time talking to McGee at HMP Berwyn in Wrexham, the North Wales Live reports.
Their relationship quickly became romantic and even physical. Emily would visit McGee's cell to be close to him and even sent him private pictures and videos through FaceTime. Their connection was so strong that Emily ignored all the prison rules. She knew what she was doing was wrong, but her emotions took over. Staff started noticing she spent too much time near McGee. An investigation began, and soon everything came out. Emily admitted the relationship and was charged with misconduct in a public office. The judge said her actions were a serious breach of duty. McGee was given an extra 12 months in prison for having the illegal phone and charger. Curtis Warren and Stephanie Smith White. Curtis Warren was a dangerous and powerful drug dealer from Liverpool. Even while locked up, he managed to control criminal activities. Stephanie Smith White was a trained prison officer working in the same facility. She was taught to watch for inmate manipulation, but that didn't stop her from falling into Warren's trap. He treated her like someone special, showing her affection and attention that made her feel important. Soon, she was emotionally attached to him.
The grounds for this arrest are, since you're released from prison back in the last year, you've been subject to a serious crime prevention order, which obviously has certain restrictions and stuff like that on you. Obviously, as part of that National Crime Agency investigation, we've identified that you've breached that order on a number of occasions, all right?
In just 3 months, they had 213 phone conversations, even though inmates are not allowed mobile phones. Their relationship went beyond just talking. They became physically involved inside the prison, in places like the kitchen, laundry room, and even his cell. Stephanie was so affected that she got a tattoo of Warren's name on her body. Warren also asked her about prison security and wanted her to bring in illegal items. This was a clear sign of how deep he had pulled her into his world. Prison staff became suspicious and kept an eye on her. One day, they saw her passing a note to Warren. When they tried to take the note back, he tried to eat it. The police recovered the note, and it was full of sexual messages. Stephanie denied helping him in illegal activities, but the court didn't believe her.
Just at this moment in time, okay, you're under arrest on suspicion of breach of a serious crime prevention order. Okay, so you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention, when questioned, something which you later rely in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence, alright? The grounds for this arrest are, since you're released from prison back in the last year, you've been subject to a serious crime prevention order, which obviously has certain restrictions and stuff like that on you. Obviously, as part of that National Crime Agency investigation, we've identified that you've breached that order on a number of occasions, alright? So, this arrest is necessary for a prompt and effective investigation, and obviously prevent the loss and damage of evidence, alright?
The judge said she was used by Warren, but she still hoped their relationship would last outside prison. Finally, we have the most shocking case of all, where a respected officer didn't just break the rules, she broke a dangerous inmate out of jail and went on the run. Casey White and Vicky White.
This sure sounds like a Hollywood movie. A prison guard falls in love with an inmate, helps him escape, then the pair goes on the run from police for 11 days. But this really happened, and now it's getting the Netflix treatment.
A female prison guard is taking a 6'9" inmate for a scheduled mental health evaluation. Pretty routine stuff. But Vicky White was actually helping her lover escape from jail.
Casey White was a dangerous prisoner in Alabama, serving 75 years for crimes and waiting for a murder trial. In 2020, he met Vicky White, a respected prison officer with 17 years of service. Vicky had a clean record and was trusted by everyone. But after meeting Casey, everything changed. He started calling her his queen and made her feel special. Over 2 years, their secret relationship grew stronger through regular phone calls and private talks. Vicky began to plan an escape with Casey. She sold her home for just $95,000, which was far below its value.
The escaped prisoner and his jail guard lover checked into this motel in Indiana and a room just like this one. It's very simple. It has a bed, a table, a television, a fridge, a microwave, but probably most noticeable is how quiet it is here.
On Tuesday, May 3rd, Casey White abandoned their pickup truck in a car wash and switched to this gray Cadillac.
The owner of this car wash in Evansville, Indiana, captured everything on surveillance video. So he pulled up into this bay for a couple of minutes with his truck, while Vicky, moments later, pulled her car down this street. And as we saw on the video, she pulled down 10, 20 feet. He nonchalantly exited the car wash and got in Vicky's car.
This showed how serious she was about running away. On the day of the escape, she told others that Casey had a court visit. That was a lie. She took him out of the jail, and they disappeared together. For 11 days, they traveled across different states, trying to avoid the police.
On May 9th, authorities in Evansville, Indiana, got a tip about two individuals who seemed to match the descriptions of both Casey and Vicky. Law enforcement there spotted a vehicle suspected to be driven by Casey with Vicky in the passenger seat. That led to a chase that ended in a crash and ultimately their capture. Following the crash, authorities say Vicky shot and killed herself. Casey turned himself into authorities. Vicky died from those injuries. Casey was brought back to Lauderdale County.
Eventually, officers found them in Indiana. A high-speed chase followed. During the chase, Vicky took her own life before she could be arrested. Casey was captured and taken back to prison. Now don't hesitate to comment down your thoughts on this situation. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well.